ever got here and interviewed you, I said, they told me that you lost so many people. And I said, do you think you have the same capabilities? And you told me yes, and I kind of laughed thinking, really? Are they really going to go this far? And now we're here. So can you maybe talk about how far you guys have gone when everyone puts the expectations of last year's team on your back?
Yeah, that's been what this team's had to carry all year. And it was difficult at the beginning, but you know, I know this team and I know their character. I also knew that we had a long ways to go, for sure, and that was evident early. I knew the conference that we played in, and I know the Pac-12 is going to prepare us extremely well, and then I was confident in Marie's leadership, and there's others as well, but, I knew what she was capable of. And so when you have those things, then really the sky's the limit, and I felt like this group could reach their potential, and I thought, the potential was pretty high. And so, so really pleased with where we are. It's been a journey, and to have the moments that we've had this year honestly have rivaled what we've done in the past, and I don't think, anybody really thought that was possible this year in a rebuilding year. We didn't win the conference, we didn't win the conference tournament, but we competed well against so many great teams, and that's prepared us, to do well in the national tournament. And so a lot of credit to the individuals on this team and in this program, and a lot of credit to our conference for preparing us.
What is your message, Coach, for the team as you guys hit the road again and go out and hit the big stage?
The same as it was last week. I mean, to have really high expectations. I mean, why not us? That's what this entire program's been built upon from day one. It's how they played last weekend. It's how they've played at different times this year when we exceeded maybe our experience level by having that belief and that courage to believe big things. And so why stop now? Obviously we're facing incredible teams, which of course you will at this time of the year, at this stage. And so it's going to demand, elite performance, just like it did on Sunday. And so I think we're in a really good place, and so just to keep pushing, and just keep, we're just telling you, believe. I mean, why not? We're going to do our best to put you in a position to be successful. Let's go get it done.
Scott, obviously there's so much turnover between you and Baylor just from 2 years ago, but how important is it, or how much can you take away from the fact that you went up against them and kind of know what they like to do and some things? I mean, does that give you a little bit of and them too as well, just knowing a little bit of what you guys do?
Yeah, I don't know if it's an advantage because they know us as well, but there is a familiarity, with them. You look at their numbers; they're daunting. Absolutely daunting. I mean, they've been, by most statistical sources, the second best team in the country this year. It's strange. They're a 2 seed. They have 1 loss, and that loss came without Lauren Cox and without their coach. Mulkey wasn't there that day, and so and a lot of people would say, well, that's an undefeated team, and not to take anything away from UCLA because they're still a great team, no matter if they're missing 1 or 2 or 3, they're still great, and so. But I think, there is a belief and a confidence. Well, we've done it. We've beaten a team like that. We've gone on the national stage, and we've played big, and we've found ways to win. And so I think, you add all those experiences up, including that game, and maybe that one more than any other, and there's a confidence that we can get it done. And so I know we go into that game with that belief.
Obviously, they lost Wallace a couple games ago. I mean, I don't know how much you watched before that and up to there. Have you seen anything different that they do now, or are they just plug and play?
Alexis Morris is really good, and they have, she's just different, but she's knocking threes down, and she's so fast. I mean, she's an incredible athlete, and so they haven't seemed to miss a beat. And that's a great program. They have a lot of great players throughout their roster to rise when someone goes down, and so. Christy Wallace is an amazing player, and certainly they've lost a little bit of depth there, but they've done a really nice job as a team in covering for that loss.
Obviously, that last Baylor game, when you think of the memories that you have, we talked with Marie and Katie and, what their lingering thoughts of that last game. What do you think of when you think of that Baylor win?
Joy. I think of joy. I think of, dreams being fulfilled, that day on everything everyone dreams of, came true that day, with the exception of winning it all, of course. But getting to a Final Four is a dream in itself, and a major one. And it was the realization that it is possible at Oregon State. It all came to fruition that day, and so it's just pure joy for me. And just watching a group of individuals that took a chance on us see it through and play so fearlessly and so tough and so courageous. And I mean, it's what it's all about. It's why we do this. You know, we hit a level that day that 98% of people didn't think was possible for this program. And you know, that group came in and said, we're going to find a way, and it came true that day. So it was the best.
As you kind of reflect on that game specifically, what did it take to get that victory in terms of maybe examples you can pass along to your group this year?
Well, I think, you know, against this team, you have to rebound with them. I can't remember what the rebounds were in that game, but I know that we held our own. I know that was it was at least fairly even. You know, we controlled tempo that day. I thought we kept them out of transition, and then we found ways to take and make shots, you know, and then down the stretch of the game, we made the plays. You know, so you're playing against a team that has won national championships with a Hall of Fame coach, incredible talent, and we went toe to toe and found a way to win it, you know, on a huge stage. And so, you know, I think those things are similar. That will have to happen again.
You out-rebounded them 39-33.
There you go. And so this team, I know,
the box,
very
right?
resourceful, man. You know, and so, you know, this is a team that out-rebounds their opponents by 19 a game. You know, I felt good about what we were doing this year. We're 10.2 or something like that. For a while, we were second in the country. I think we're fourth now or something like that. And then you look at who's won, and it's Baylor plus 19. I mean, that's just an incredible number. And so the rebounding battle is obviously going to be a huge factor in this game.
Well, Marie has talked about how Mercedes Russell gave her a test and she learned from her out in Tennessee. What is she bringing to this Baylor game to try to narrow that gap on the boards?
Yeah, I think it was a great precursor to this one, you know, to see a talent like Mercedes with the same height. You know, I think she's 6'6", and Kalani's 6'7", you know, and then there's Lauren Cox, of course, that is 6'4", but plays even bigger. And so, you know, it's just the next step, a little bit bigger, a little bit more physical. She's more of a power player. Well, Mercedes is at times, you know, I mean, she has both, you know, and so, you know, it's like Christina Nigwe in our conference is that person, and then you go to the Mercedes, and then you go to Kalani, you know, and so for our post players, you know, it's just one daunting task after another, you know, but I just love the way they embrace the challenge, you know, and Marie's set the tone for us that way. It's like, okay, let's find a way, you know, and she plays fearlessly, and yeah, it's a competition at its best.
Well, and that's something you said to do before you even flew out to Tennessee. You said embrace the challenge. You guys are kind of still going with this underdog role. Do you like it? Do you same message stays the same?
Love it. Yeah, I mean, this is the best. Are you kidding? This is as fun as it gets. You're playing incredible programs on a big stage with so much at stake. I mean, that's why we do this, you know. And so if you're anything but enjoying it, I think you're missing the boat. I mean, this is awesome. And so let's go see what we can do, just like we did last weekend.
Obviously, all regions are tough, but yours is the only one that has 4 teams that have all been to the Final Four in the last 7 years. Just how exciting is it to be, you know, in that company and be able to say that you're in that company? Yeah,
I mean, that's the vision, right, is to get there. And, you know, I was talking to my wife, Carrie, you know, after the game the other day, walking out of Thompson Bowling, you know, at Tennessee, and just saying, Coach, the game at Tennessee today, you know, and it's still, you know, a bit surreal, you know, for someone that comes from a different background than this, and you know, we found a way to win there, and I mean, it's awesome, you know, and so to say that we're in that company just means that we're doing things right, that competition's competition, you know, and we have amazing individuals to coach, you know, and they're people that are, like I use the word all the time, courageous, you know, but it's the word. They're courageous enough to not only choose to participate in it, but to believe that they want to win and they want to be the best. And, you know, it's just, it's great to be a part of, but yeah, it makes me happy, you know, to be in that group, you know, because there are incredible teams and programs and coaches, you know, in ours in particular, but throughout the 16.
How long do you let that sink in after that Tennessee win before moving on? Do you let the players enjoy it, or were you like, nah, next thing?
Heck yeah. I mean, that was a lot to enjoy. I mean, you make history. How often do you get to make history? You know, especially positive history at Tennessee. Not many people get to make positive history at Tennessee other than Tennessee. And so that was, I mean, you've got to enjoy that. You have to take a minute anyway. But then the next game, I mean, Baylor game came on right after, you know, so we're all waiting to go to dinner, and people are watching the Baylor game in the lobby of the hotel before we left, and, you know, so you know what's coming next. You know, most likely it's either Michigan or Baylor, and it's most likely going to be Baylor. And, okay, here we go, another just massive test. And so, yeah, there's some sobering parts to it as well, but that's fun. You know, the whole thing's fun. But, yeah, we enjoyed the Tennessee win.
Did you feel disrespected at all when you got the seeding that you got? Because during the Tennessee game, so many people were saying, well, this isn't truly a 6 or, you know, whatever. What?
Well, I can't say that I felt disrespected by the seed. You know, I think the Pac-12's RPI, the committee uses RPI, and our RPI was the one rating system all year that was lower than everything else, and it factors in strength of schedule so much, and our preseason strength of schedule wasn't strong. And it was actually a little bit worse than we even thought it might be. That's just how it worked out this year. And so because the Pac-12, I think, was the 5th RPI conference, I figured, well, it'll probably be tough for them to put 4 Pac-12s as host sites, 4 out of the 16. So I figured, well, we'll probably be the one, you know, to not be in it. So we're going to be a 5 or a 6. We're going to be sent somewhere. And that was probably how it was going to work out. Now, every other rating system has us in the top 14. Everything has us in the top 14 other than RPI. And so when you look at that matchup, Tennessee's usually 1 off from us. You know, we're 1 ahead of them, or they're 1 ahead of us. And so, you know, we felt like it was going to be a pretty good matchup, you know, but we're on their home floor. So that makes us the underdog, and, you know, going into that game, you know. So disrespected, no. You know, I think, you know, I read a headline that, you know, Oregon State stuns Tennessee. Well, I don't think people that know the game felt like it's a stunning upset. I think it was, you know, I think the stun comes from just the history of 57-0. Yeah. Nobody's ever done it. So I think that's where that comes from, but not necessarily that Oregon State played with them and found a way to win. I think people could probably see that happening, you know, in some scenarios.